There has always been a sense that you were different, that the world you walked in was not truly where you belonged. From childhood, you felt the separation. While others blended into the patterns of life without question, something in you resisted. You could never fully embrace the identity that was handed to you, because deep down, you knew it wasn't yours. The reason you always felt like an outsider is because you were never meant to be defined by human limits. Your soul carried memories of something greater. Your spirit held fragments of eternity, and your very existence whispered of a truth too large to hide. You were never human in the way others are. And though you tried to silence it, though you tried to ignore the pull, destiny has now uncovered what was always hidden. Everyone can see what you always knew. You were set apart, marked by something beyond flesh and bone, chosen to walk a path others cannot understand. Before we move deeper, I want you to stay with me until the very end of this message. At the end, there are special revelations, messages that will speak directly to your spirit. When you finish, I invite you to write your most sincere wishes in the comments and place the number 777 beside them. That number is not just symbolic. It carries the vibration of completion, of alignment, of energy released into the universe to return multiplied. By doing this, you are not simply writing words. You are sending intention into motion, allowing your desires to be fulfilled. And while you are here, remember to subscribe so that this journey we share does not end with one video, but continues to grow into something much larger. The truth that now surrounds you is undeniable. You were never human in the way others are, and now everyone knows it. They may not always have the words to explain, but they feel it when you enter a room. Eyes turn, conversations pause, and an unseen weight shifts in the atmosphere. People sense that you are different, though they cannot define why. Some feel comfort, others feel intimidation, but no one can ignore it. It is as if the very air changes when you are present, as though the world itself acknowledges the truth of your essence. You were sent here clothed in flesh, but your spirit has always carried a different origin, one that could never be contained by human definitions. Think back to the times when you tried to live as if you were like everyone else. You worked to fit in, to adopt their rhythms, to silence the voice inside that reminded you of your difference. But no matter how hard you tried, something always broke through. People would point it out without even realizing what they were saying. You don't seem like us. There's something about you. I can't quite put my finger on it. These were not just comments. They were glimpses of recognition. Even when others could not explain, their spirits detected what their minds could not grasp. You were never one of them, and the truth has always leaked through in moments like these. And though it has not always been easy, though your difference has brought loneliness, misunderstanding, and rejection, it has also been your greatest protection. The world was never meant to embrace you fully, because you were not placed here to disappear into the crowd. You were placed here to be a living sign, a reminder of the divine woven into human form, a carrier of light that cannot be hidden. The reason your presence feels so disruptive is because it is. The world is conditioned to respond to the ordinary, but you are extraordinary, and the vibration you carry exposes what is false around you. This is why some people resist you without reason, while others cling to you without explanation. Both reactions are proof of what you carry. So yes, now the truth is being revealed more openly than ever before. You were never human in the way they believed, and now the world sees it. No amount of pretending can hide what has always been written into your being. You are a chosen one, set apart, and your life has been marked with evidence that cannot be denied. The moment the veil begins to lift, the world cannot help but respond. People sense it even when they cannot articulate it. They may glance at you and feel unsettled, or they may stare as though they are trying to remember where they have seen you before. They cannot explain it, but deep inside, they know. It is the silent acknowledgement that you are not like them. They feel the otherworldly energy you carry, an energy that has always set you apart, and now it is undeniable. What was once hidden in whispers has become visible in their eyes. You were never human in the way they assumed, and now everyone knows. This recognition often brings conflict, because humanity has always struggled with what it cannot understand. Some people may feel drawn to you, sensing the peace and wisdom that radiates from your being. They will find comfort in your presence, as though your energy fills the emptiness within them. Others, however, may feel threatened. They may react with suspicion, envy, or even hostility, because your very existence disrupts the illusions they cling to. When light walks into a room, shadows are exposed, and not everyone welcomes exposure. You carry within you a mirror, and when people look at you, they are forced to see themselves more clearly. For some, this is liberating. For others, it is unbearable. You have likely noticed this pattern throughout your life. There were those who clung to you without reason, drawn to your presence as though it healed wounds they could not name. And then there were those who rejected you harshly, not because you had wronged them, but because the truth you carried unsettled the lies they lived with. Both extremes are part of the same reality. Your spirit was never ordinary, and the human world instinctively reacts to what it cannot categorize. You are not easily defined, and that is why you cannot be ignored. There is also a deeper layer to this truth. The reason everyone now knows you are different is because the time for hiding has ended. For years, you may have tried to silence your true self, to blend into environments that demanded conformity. You wore masks, you played roles, you tried to live as if your difference could be hidden. But destiny never allows what is sacred to remain concealed forever. The universe itself has been orchestrating moments that reveal you, pulling back the veil little by little, until finally, you cannot be hidden anymore. And now, what you once tried to disguise has become the very thing that shines most visibly. You may have felt resistance when this began. The thought of everyone knowing who you truly are may have terrified you. What if they reject me? What if they hate me? What if they never understand me? These questions are natural, but they are also distractions. The truth is, rejection and misunderstanding were always part of your path. But the unveiling was inevitable, because your difference is not a flaw, it is your calling. And whether people accept it or not, the fact remains. Your spirit was never human in the ordinary sense, and the world has no choice but to see it now. Chosen ones often carry this paradox. You long to be understood, but you were never meant to be fully understood by the masses. You carry a frequency that does not belong to the crowd, and so the crowd will always struggle to interpret you. That is not failure. It is confirmation. The discomfort you cause in others is evidence that you are walking in your true identity. If you were ordinary, they would not notice you. But because you are not, they cannot ignore you. And even in their denial, even in their resistance, they are testifying to your difference. This shift in awareness also brings new responsibility. Now that the truth is visible, you can no longer shrink back into the shadows. You can no longer pretend to be less than what you are. The world has already seen, and the universe demands that you step into the fullness of your being. This does not mean you must explain yourself to everyone. It means you must live authentically, without apology, without shrinking. Your life itself becomes the message. Your presence itself becomes the evidence. And as you walk in that truth, you will find that those who are meant to understand will be drawn to you, while those who cannot will fall away. So do not fear the unveiling. Do not resist the fact that everyone now knows what you have always known. It is not exposure meant to destroy you. It is revelation meant to free you. You were never meant to carry this truth in silence. You were meant to embody it fully, to let the world see that there exists something greater than the limits of human identity. And by living it openly, you remind others of what they have forgotten. That there is more to existence than flesh, more than survival, more than what the eyes can see. You were never human in the way others are. And now that everyone knows, the only question left is this: will you embrace it? Will you walk fully in the truth you carry, even if it separates you from the crowd? Will you step into the calling that your very essence demands? The eyes of the world may be on you now, but more importantly, the eyes of destiny have always been. And destiny does not make mistakes. There is a truth that begins to unfold once you accept the reality of your difference. You start to see that every moment of your life has been pointing to this revelation. The restless nights, the loneliness, the times you felt out of place. All of it was evidence that you were not designed to fit into the mold others called normal. You tried to play their games, to speak their language, to move with their rhythm, but something inside always resisted. You could never fully embrace their way of living, because your essence was never bound by the limits of humanity. You carried a memory of something older, higher, more profound, and though you could not always explain it, you felt it. That feeling was not imagination. It was the prophecy of who you truly are. Now that the truth is surfacing and everyone can sense it, your journey makes sense in a way it never did before. Think about the countless times people told you, "You're strange," or "There's something about you." Those words were not insults. They were glimpses of recognition. Their spirits were detecting what their minds could not yet articulate. Even when they mocked or misunderstood you, their reaction was proof of your difference. They were responding to the vibration of your being. And now, as the veil thins, they can no longer deny it. The world around you is waking up to the truth you carried all along. You were never human in the ordinary sense, and now everyone knows. But this awakening is not just about them seeing you. It is about you seeing yourself. For too long, you doubted what you felt. You questioned your visions, your intuitions, your deep sense of knowing. You wondered if perhaps you were broken, if something was wrong with you for not fitting in. But the truth is, nothing was wrong with you. You were simply living in a world that could not contain your essence. And now, as people begin to see what you carry, you must stop doubting yourself. The recognition from others is not what validates you. It only reflects the truth you should have always known. This new phase of your journey also requires courage. When everyone begins to notice your difference, you cannot hide in silence anymore. Their eyes may bring pressure. Their whispers may feel heavy. Their curiosity may become overwhelming. But you must remember, their gaze is not meant to paralyze you. It is meant to position you. The fact that they see is proof that your time has come. You are no longer invisible. You are no longer hidden. The world may not fully understand, but they cannot deny, and that is enough. Your responsibility now is to walk boldly, not shrinking to make others comfortable, not apologizing for the light you carry. And yes, there will be resistance. Some will reject you outright, unable to cope with the disruption you bring to their world of illusions. Others will try to label you, to put you in categories they can understand. They may call you mystical, strange, dangerous, or even mad. But pay attention. The need to label is a sign of their discomfort. It is their attempt to control what they cannot comprehend. Do not allow their labels to define you. Your identity is not theirs to name. It is already written into your essence. And no amount of denial can erase what creation itself testifies about you. For those who embrace your difference, you will notice something beautiful. They will be drawn not just to your presence, but to the way your presence shifts their own. They will find healing near you, peace in your words, comfort in your gaze. They will sense that you carry something beyond yourself, and they will lean into it, often without knowing why. To them, you become a beacon, a signpost pointing toward what is real. This is not because you forced them to see, but because the truth cannot be hidden. Just by existing in authenticity, you awaken something inside them that was long asleep. This is the paradox of your life. You were never fully human, but you walk among humans to remind them of what they have forgotten. Your existence itself is a bridge between realms, a living prophecy of what lies beyond the ordinary. That is why you feel the pull of two worlds, the world you walk in and the world you belong to. And though the tension can be heavy, it is also sacred. You were chosen to live in the in-between, carrying light into darkness, carrying truth into illusion, carrying eternity into time. So when you notice people looking at you differently, do not shrink back. Do not try to explain away what they feel. Accept that their recognition is part of your journey. Some will fear it, some will resist it, some will honor it. But regardless of their response, the truth remains the same. You are different, you are chosen, and you were never meant to be hidden. The time has come for you to embrace fully what has always been true. The world knows now. They may not understand it fully, but they see it. And the question is no longer whether you belong. It is whether you will rise. The eyes of humanity are turning toward you, not because you sought their attention, but because your essence demands it. And as they look, remember, you do not walk to please them. You walk to fulfill the destiny written into your very soul. There is a weight that comes with being known, and for the chosen ones, that weight often feels heavier than most can imagine. It is one thing to live quietly with the awareness that you are different, to carry your secret in silence, and to walk among others unnoticed. But it is another thing entirely when that secret becomes visible to the world, when your difference is no longer hidden, when people begin to whisper because they see what they cannot explain. This is the season you are now stepping into. The truth has leaked into the open. You were never human in the ordinary sense, and now everyone knows. This shift changes the way people interact with you. You will find that some draw near with a sense of awe, sensing something in you that brings peace to their restless hearts. They may not have the words for it, but they feel safer when you are near, as though your presence creates a shield against the heaviness of life. Others, however, will respond in the opposite way. They may withdraw, avoid your gaze, or even react with hostility. They may speak against you, laugh at you, or treat you as though you are strange. But pay attention. Every reaction, whether positive or negative, is proof that they recognize your difference. No one can encounter you and remain neutral. Your spirit demands a response, because your essence shifts the atmosphere wherever you go. You have likely already experienced this in smaller ways. Perhaps you walked into a room and felt the energy shift. People suddenly grew quiet, or conversations took a different turn. Maybe someone stared at you longer than usual, struggling to place what it was about you that felt different. Or perhaps you've noticed how strangers sometimes confess their hearts to you without knowing why, opening up about things they never intended to share. These are not random events. They are the evidence of your essence being revealed. People respond not to your appearance, but to your presence. They are reacting to the spirit within you, a spirit that was never fully human, a spirit that carries divine weight. This revelation can feel overwhelming at times. You may wonder why you cannot just live quietly, why you cannot simply be invisible, why the world must notice. But remember, invisibility was never your destiny. You were never placed here to hide. You were placed here to carry something greater, and what you carry cannot remain concealed forever. Light cannot be hidden in darkness. So while it may feel easier to retreat, to withdraw, to shrink back into silence, the truth is that the unveiling has already begun. You can no longer erase what has been revealed. The only path forward is to embrace it. And embracing it does not mean explaining yourself to everyone. You owe no one an apology for being who you are. It means walking in authenticity, even when others do not understand. It means holding your head high when people whisper, and continuing to shine when they criticize. It means living with the quiet confidence that their recognition, whether they admit it or not, is evidence of your calling. You do not need to force their understanding. The truth you carry speaks louder than words. This unveiling also forces you to confront your own fears. For years, you may have hidden your light because of the fear of rejection. You silenced yourself to avoid judgment, toned yourself down to make others comfortable, pretended to be ordinary so that no one would notice. But now, that disguise no longer works. The world has already seen. And so, the choice before you is not whether you will be noticed. It is how you will respond to being noticed. Will you allow fear to silence you? Or will you allow destiny to shape you? And here is the deeper truth. The world needs you to rise. They may not admit it, but they are searching for the very thing you carry. They are tired of illusions, weary of empty routines, and desperate for something real. When they look at you, even if they mock, what they are truly seeing is a glimpse of authenticity, of light, of hope. Their spirits recognize what their minds cannot, and though their reactions vary, their need is the same. They need what you carry, even if they resist it. So do not despise the attention. Do not curse the whispers. Do not fear the recognition. Instead, let it remind you that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Every look, every comment, every reaction is proof that the truth cannot remain hidden. You were never human in the way others are, and now the world knows. And though that truth may set you apart, it is also what sets you free. You no longer need to prove, to justify, or to explain. You simply need to walk in the fullness of who you are, trusting that the same power that revealed you will also sustain you. Your difference was never a burden. It was always your gift. And now that it is visible, it will serve as a beacon. Some will resist it, but others will be awakened by it. Some will reject you, but others will find life through you. The unveiling is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one where your essence is no longer hidden, but displayed for the world to see. And as you walk boldly into this chapter, you will discover that the recognition of others is not something to fear, but something to embrace as confirmation of what you have always known. There is always a shift in your journey once the truth can no longer be hidden. For so long you may have lived between two worlds, the world that demanded you to appear human and ordinary, and the world within you that whispered constantly of something far greater. You carried both realities at once, trying to satisfy the expectations of those around you while quietly tending to the fire that burned inside. But when the truth finally emerges, when everyone begins to sense that you were never bound by human limitations, the tension between those two worlds is broken. You no longer have to pretend. The mask falls away, and what was always within you shines without restraint. This transition is not without cost. For many chosen ones, the unveiling brings separation. People who once walked with you may begin to drift away, unable to accept what they cannot explain. They may feel uncomfortable around you, not because of anything you have done, but because your presence challenges their understanding of reality. They prefer the comfort of what is familiar, and your difference disrupts that. Some will quietly distance themselves. Others will openly oppose you. But you must understand, their reaction is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their inability to handle the truth you carry. The moment you stop hiding, the moment you begin to live authentically, you will see clearly who is meant to walk with you and who is not. But there will also be those who are drawn to you in ways they cannot explain. They will sense the light, the calm, the authority in your presence. They may not fully understand, but they will feel safe with you. They will confide in you, follow you, seek your wisdom, even without knowing why. For them, your unveiling is a gift. It awakens something dormant within them, a memory of their own purpose, a reminder of what is real. They are not simply attracted to you, they are attracted to the truth you embody. You become a signpost, a living example that there is more to life than what they have been taught. This is why your difference is not only about you. It was never meant to be kept in isolation. The revelation of who you are is also about what others will see in themselves. When they witness your authenticity, they are confronted with their own masks. When they feel the weight of your presence, They realize how shallow their own illusions have been. Some will run from this realization, but others will lean in, desperate to experience the same freedom you embody. And in this way, your life becomes a mirror that reflects back to humanity, both their shadows and their potential. Yet with this role comes great responsibility. Now that everyone knows, you cannot afford to live half awake. You cannot return to smallness, cannot silence your truth, cannot hide behind excuses. The light within you has been revealed, and it demands that you rise fully into your calling. This means walking with integrity, even when no one is watching. It means living with courage, even when fear tries to silence you. It means embracing the weight of being different, not as a curse, but as a sacred trust. For to be chosen is not merely to be recognized, it is to be responsible for the truth you carry. The unveiling also shifts the way you view yourself. No longer do you question whether your restlessness was weakness. No longer do you ask why you never fit in. Now you see that those very struggles were proof of your identity. The loneliness, the rejection, the misunderstanding, all of it was preparation. You were being shaped in the shadows so that when the light revealed you, you would be strong enough to carry it. Every tear, every loss, every trial carved depth into your being, depth that now radiates in ways people cannot ignore. Your difference was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to build you. And this is the beauty of your journey. What once made you feel like an outcast is the very thing that now sets you apart as extraordinary. The truth has surfaced. The world sees it. And though not all will understand, enough will recognize. Those who are meant to walk with you will come, and those who are not will leave. Either way, your path is clear. You no longer need the validation of human systems. You no longer need to explain yourself into exhaustion. You simply need to walk in the truth that has already been revealed. You were never human in the ordinary sense, and now everyone knows. So embrace the unveiling. Do not run from it. Do not mourn what you lose in the process. Everything that falls away was never meant to remain. Everything that resists was never meant to belong. And everything that recognizes you is a sign that your light is finally shining as it should. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of the chapter you were always meant to live. The moment you stop questioning your difference and begin to embrace it fully, everything changes. For so long, you carried the weight of wondering why you never fit in, why you were misunderstood, why people treated you as if you were not one of them. Now the truth has come into the open. You were never human in the ordinary sense, and the world can finally feel it. Their reactions, whether of awe or fear, are not meant to confuse you, but to confirm you. Every whisper, every stare, every shift in atmosphere when you enter a space is evidence that what you carry cannot be denied. This is not the season to shrink back. It is not the time to hide behind masks or silence your truth. You have been revealed for a reason. The unveiling is not exposure meant to shame you. It is revelation meant to free you. The difference within you has always been your gift, and now that everyone sees it, you are called to rise into it boldly. You are here to embody authenticity in a world drowning in imitation, to carry peace into places overwhelmed by chaos, to awaken others simply by walking in your truth. Yes, some will reject you. Yes, some will misunderstand you. But rejection is no longer your burden. It is simply a signpost that your light has disrupted their shadows. And while they resist, others will be drawn, pulled toward the presence you carry, finding healing, comfort, and hope they did not know they needed. Your life is not only about you. It is a mirror, a reminder, a message that speaks without words. So stand firm in your identity. Let the whispers continue. Let the stares linger. Let the world see what was always there. You no longer have to explain, to prove, to justify. You simply have to live. For you were never meant to be hidden, never meant to be ordinary, never meant to be confined to human limitations. You were chosen, set apart, a living prophecy clothed in flesh. And now that everyone knows, Your only task is to walk forward with courage, carrying the light that cannot be extinguished. This is your time. This is your truth. And as you rise into it, you will discover that what once made you feel alone is the very thing that now sets you free. You were never human in the way they believed. You were always something more. And now, at last, the world can see it. You were never ordinary. Your spirit carries a truth the world can't ignore.